Greetings students. Today we're going to see about advances in modern life science. Many scientists made many advancements through the years, but we're going to start with the human body. Before many of these scientists made advancements, there was some guy called Galen which made drawings of the human body, or what he thought was a human body. Because he didn't do his own dissections, he just drew what he saw in other animals. But along came this guy, Andreas Vesalius, which is, that guy. It's considered the father of anatomy. He had access to actually human being dissections, so he made his drawings more accurately than Galen could do. His book is known as Fabrica, and that's why he's very important, because after so many years, someone could finally make accurate drawings of the human body. Anatomy, of course, comes before physiology. Physiology is the study of how parts function. And William Harvey started circulation. That is one part of that's one function of our body. William Harvey was very important because he started circulation for the first time, and he started circulation in more than 40 organisms to understand how really circulation worked. We have another scientist that's very important, which is John Wilkins. He founded the Royal Society of London for the promotion of natural knowledge. This school had the purpose of disproving that everything was material, that there were some things that science couldn't explain, like soul, the spirit, and supernatural things. He later then founded the French Academy of Sciences. Now, we're going to talk about someone very important, which you still use some of his knowledge that he used back then. Proof of this is this very nice yogurt, and if you can say, well, it doesn't say that it's pasteurized, but we're going to talk about that later. Okay, we're going to talk about Francesco Redi. We're going to first talk about Francesco Redi. Yeah, that guy. Okay, Francesco Redi, he proved the law of biogenesis. I'm going to explain what is that in just a moment. Remember that I told you that in the ancient times they thought that life could come from non-living things? Okay, Francesco Redi didn't believe so, so he went on and made an experiment. He said, no, life cannot originate from non-living things. So he grabbed 3 flasks. He put meat in 3 of them. So he put gauze in one of them, he left the other one uncovered, and he covered the other one. People believe that non-living things could generate living things because people said, like, yes, of course, if you leave rotten meat, it's gonna have maggots after some days. And they said, where did maggots come from? Then non-living things can generate living things. But Redi had a different theory. He observed meat and he thought that the maggots came from the flies that were flying around the meat. So he set up his experiment and he let it rest for some days. After some days, the flask that was uncovered, the meat had a lot of maggots. The flask that had gauze on it, the maggots were on the gauze, and the one that was covered had no maggots at all. So that's the experiment he did. People, though, were not convinced yet, so Pasteur came along. Louis Pasteur was a scientist that made many advancements in science that you even use today. So Pasteur one-upped Mr. Francesco Redi. So what he did is that he grabbed some flask with special broth or something, and he had 3 flasks, and the broth had and the flask had 6 sac openings. So Redi